University of Nairobi. My concern is about how reporters report on women stories and climate change. Now there's going to be finance. I'm also seeing women placed where they can get the government credit. So media people think of how we package women's stories so that we make them real and also harness on the knowledge we have at the university on how climate affects women. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Joe, what's the mic?
There's already someone.
Oh, there's somebody there. Okay.
Yeah, hi. My name is Anne-Faith Firungi from the African Youth Organization for Conference of Parties. So I'm the research, education, and training counterpoint. And I wanted to know from you, what are the opportunities for capacity building to the public and to the leaders to inform them on adaptation, mitigation, and aspects of climate change? So I also have a question on the languaging. We came together as the Children and Youth Constituency of the UNFCCC, and we created a translation working group. So what we are doing is we are interpreting and translating information in UN languages and indigenous languages. I wanted to know, especially on the terminology on climate change, that's not clearly defined and is ambiguous. What are the challenges about this, and how are you dealing with this to ensure that information gets to the people?
Thank you. Yes.
Hi everyone, my name is Charles Chibui. I coordinate a project called Climate Promise in Mida, Kilifi County. I'm here to speak on behalf of the villagers. So I had little complaint that the practitioners in the media industry have problem in picking the climate language. Now, if my mother in the village is slowly picking the language, what about a media practitioner who spent years in the university can't pick this language? Is it about interest or is it about understanding the language? That's one. Two, it's all about the interest in stories. Where I come from, there is a very hot topic, and the media is just putting it aside. The nuclear story in Yoyobo village. A lot is being discussed, but I don't see any national conversation at the media rooms. What I'm seeing is that the local social media groups discussing, but there is nothing being discussed, especially at the national level. This issue is very serious, because in as much as maybe the nuclear plant in Yoyobo is very important, there is no adequate participation with the people who are being affected. So my concern is, where is this interest in following the media stories coming? Is it about the money, as someone said, or is it about the people?
Thank you. Keep it short.
Good morning. My name is Shadrach Agati. I want to speak on behalf of the people who are supposed to sit on that stage. And I want to steer a secret for you, that you're not going to expect some policies to be made by politicians. For you to help them make those issues that you want to be legislated public. Because politicians only will take issues that are public issues for them to register.
Thank you.
Secondly, okay, just a minute. The other thing is, as journalists, are we thinking about the system that when you are reporting the footprint at the Lahada Road, are you connecting it to several issues that the people can benefit? And so, to you, Peter.
Thank you. Joe, that was more of a comment.
Thank you. Not a question. As a journalist, I think I have what would more be like a contribution. Climate change affects all of us. It's not an issue of journalists versus them. It's an issue of collaboration. It's sustainable. How do we make it consistent, and how do we make it such that it has an impact? I'd request that the people in places and institutions that deal with this, you have a structured engagement. You already now have the Kenya Editors Guild that you can easily have as an access route to the newsrooms. Work with us at the Kenya Editors Guild. Let us develop programs, let us develop training manuals, let us develop capacity such that we tackle this as an issue that is not just of national interest, but of our livelihoods. If we do that, if we collaborate, if we partner, and we make it sustainable, then I want to believe we will be having a different conversation when the next Africa Climate Summit is held, because just like Africa has done it for the first time now, this should be the starting point of involving media and ensuring that media is part and parcel of this conversation right from the start. Thank you.
Yes, we'll take that question, the answer, then the other ones will keep short, but don't. Okay. Keep it short and one question.
Hello, my name is Daisy Love. I'm an environmental scientist, but I took the path of environmental journalism. So my question is, sometimes we have the story as organizations, but it's so hard to reach the journalists. The small media houses might be willing to come, but when it comes to the big ones like ETN Nation, it gets really hard to get them. Maybe we could find a way to collaborate. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we take that before we take the other one? Okay. My name is Kennedy. I work with JZ, supporting the Summit in Communications. But my question goes around harmonizing commercial and editorial coverage. How do you ensure that the coverage that comes to your editors takes the same light as those that are commercial? Because we realize that a number of times if it's commercial, it gets really very good light. But if it's supposed to be editorial, it's very controversial. So where is the harmony of the same? Thank you. Thank you very much, Kennedy. Why? So what we'll take those questions. We'll take that last one and then we just move on. Two more questions, eh? Right.
My name is Martin Mugo from Startup Shoutouts. My question is, what can be done to attract the attention of youth? Because on a matter, you find that carbon credits to us is new, but it has been brought up that carbon credit has existed from a very long time. Yeah. So what can we do for us youth to have our attention to matters to climate change, and how can we help the panel, or rather the older generation, to help us when it comes to climate change?
Thank you. Very quick one.
My name is Evelyn Amboa. I work with the Africa Biodiversity Collaboration Group. My comment question is on bringing the person who's affected by climate change at the center of it all, as you mentioned, and specifically bringing the role of the women in the urban cities that are affected by climate change. You've talked about Wafula, people in arid areas and other places. We talked about elephants and people who are living with the elephants and fighting for water. But it affects you and I in the city. Right now, as a modern woman, you have to make calls to get water. We don't have basic water, basic sanitation. Those are the issues that affect us, climate change here in urban cities. There's loss and damage. How does that translate to us in terms of loss and damage? Children are growing up without water. We cook with bottled water in urban cities. Those are real key issues that affect us in terms of climate change. So we need to move the conversation from the rural woman or somebody else and bring it to ourselves as urban cities, because it affects us dearly. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's more of a comment, and thank you. That one. Yeah.
Thank you.
2 seconds, please. Quick one.
My name is Paul Chepsoya. With me, colleague Daniel Kobe, representing indigenous communities in this room. Our big concern as indigenous organization and communities is a language of climate discussion. In this summit, we have noticed so much that the academia, the governments, institutions have already changed the language of climate discussion, that we indigenous communities, which so many of you discuss, we are most affected. We don't have a lot of audience in this forum. Lastly, there are a lot of questions. Let me just ask this question. I visited some homes that discuss about two things that confuse us indigenous communities. For example, there's discussion of avoidance and removal of carbon credit. Those discussions are the things that indigenous communities and organizations are grappling with. Lastly, it's about benefit sharing. Benefit sharing is a discussion that is not clear. about us indigenous communities and organizations. Even the government doesn't have a clear structure on benefit sharing.
Okay, thank you. So that one, and then we'll have one last one. Keep it short.
Yes, please. Yeah, my name is Juma Kisicho. I'm an oral in journalism. When first went to the newsroom in 1975, when the net was being formed. Right. Mine is only one word. Big talk, and after this big talk, nothing. My challenge is this now. Journalists, you plant a lot of trees, you do a lot of environmental work, but it's on paper, on air, and on television.
Thank you.
But on ground, there's nothing.
Thank you.
Now, I want you to get me. I'll give you. Everybody will want to adapt a tree or a bamboo from here. Right?
Thank you. We finally have one question from somebody can translate.
Hello everybody. So it's true that this issue of climate change and terminology affects us as deaf people, and especially the concern and the involvement of media. So my question to you is, how have you included people with disability and especially deaf people, because it is true that all these things we are missing out on all this, and we are missing out on discussions about climate change. So how do you involve people who are deaf in these discussions?
Thank you so much. I'm going to put them in one bit. Peter, you will look at what your colleague